Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm bringing you another ranking video, quote for quote. So today I thought I'd do something a little bit different, just the average Dokkan video I've been doing. So I'm going to be ranking, not all, but a lot of the characters in Dragon Ball. I thought this would be a fun video. Sorry for not uploading yesterday. Yesterday was my last day of school, so I took the day off. I had some fun, I did some stuff. But this video's length should be pretty long, because I'm going to talk about every single one of these characters for at least an amount of time. So I guess without further ado, let's just get right into it. I guess I'll just go in order. Dragon Ball Super 17 is an A tier character. Listen, you can't tell me that Dragon Ball Super 17 was not handled perfectly. His design is better than Vincey, although it's not by much. It's just his clothes look cool on him. His character in the Tournament of Power, 10 out of 10. We love it. And in fact, he ended up winning, which was a shock to the majority of people. And I didn't mind it. It was a fun idea. There were people who, wanted Gohan to win, which would have been probably better, because I am a big fan of Gohan's. But I mean, what are you going to do? It didn't happen. But 17, he was confident. His character, his design, all that were amazing. He was handled perfectly, so I'm giving him an A tier. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, also A tier. Design, alright, it is kind of funny how he does not have eyebrows. But I will say that, the long hair, it's a cool concept. And when he first went to Super Saiyan 3 in the Buu arc, that was one of the better transformation sequences, air quotes, in the series. And shout out to Sean, his English voice actor, for just screaming. He screamed for so long. Sean is really talented whenever it comes to stuff like that. But enough about that. His design is good. His Now, in the Fusion Reborn movie, which is where the picture's from, he didn't have the best role, but in terms of the Buu arc and just overall design, he's good, so I'm giving him A tier. Gotenks, C tier. I do like the concept of, them passing the torch on, or trying to pass the torch to Goten and Trunks, which in the end of the Buu arc, it ended up failing. But Gotenks' design and his concept is good, but his character is a little annoying. I mean, it's two kids. So they kind of wanted to be a little annoying, but he was a little annoying. So I can't put him in B tier just because he was a little annoying. But I keep saying that a lot. My gosh, but his concept was good, and his design's okay, but how he was handled in the show, I just can't put him any higher than C. He's not bad, so bad characters are D in this. But if you're just an okay character, so you're going at C. And if you're a good character, B. A, you're a really good character. C, or not C, S, you're outstanding. And we'll get to that later. Majin Vegeta, S tier. That Goku and Vegeta rematch in the Buu arc was spectacular. Vegeta's, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Motivation behind wanting to get a rematch with Goku. And how that fight was handled, it was amazing. His design, 10 out of 10. He looks more intimidating because of the veins that he has there when he's Majin Vegeta, 10 out of 10. Vegeta, becoming overcome by Babidi's magic because he's still a little, or he still was, or he was evil, and him being overcome and having the fight Goku getting it for a rematch, it was good. Everything about Majin Vegeta is perfect, so the rematch was amazing. He's definitely an S tier character. Super Saiyan Goku, also S tier. I mean the very first Super Saiyan, the whole Goku versus Frieza fight is actually most people see that as one of the best fights in anime. There are plenty of people who do have it as the best. I love the fight, him transforming into Super Saiyan Goku, the very first Super Saiyan, setting up the foundation for the rest of the series. Everything about that fight, that transformation, and Goku in that saga was amazing. S tier. Android 16, B tier. He was the reason that Gohan went Super Saiyan 2, which is one of my favorite transformations in the series. No, actually, Super Saiyan 2 is my favorite transformation in the series. It's mainly because of the design and how they have that little hair that like spikes down. I really like the design choice. Android 616 himself, he didn't do too much until the Cell games, but you know, him being the inspiration for Gohan transforming was great. And also his design is, you know, whatever. He is a decent design. And also his character is at least more interesting than, you know, like the clown android that Vegeta's beats on. So I'll give him B. Dende. C tier. Design, most of Mechians look pretty similar, but his, you know, purpose in the Namek Saga is pretty helpful, being like healing and like, you know, what? I don't actually have much to say about Dende. I'm not even gonna lie. That's weird. Alright, whatever. He's a solid character. I don't remember much about him. He's a solid character. His role in the Namek Saga was at least fun. And he, you know, he fulfilled his purpose in the saga, so to speak. So, C tier. Average character. Kami. Also C tier. One of Goku's teachers in the Dragon Ball Saga. Of 3, you know, you got Master Roshi, Korin, who's actually right here, and Kami. His concept was fun, you know, the evil half with Piccolo. Anything, when like, he participated in the World Tournament, that was fun. His design, and then he's in a Namekian, so they all look very similar. Everything about Kami is average. I don't have much to say about him. Just one of Goku's teachers, and his concept was fun, so C tier. You can't see his face, but that's Hercule says Mr. Satan. He's an A tier character. Now, before you get the pitchforks, let me explain. He's fun in the Boo arc, Super, and in like the Cell games. He was a fun character. He was there essentially to be a joke, and his connection that he formed with Majin Buu was pretty adorable. I like that. And his joke about, you know, him being super weak in the world, thinking that he's the strongest thing ever, is fun. I really like his joke, because he is kind of like a joke character, but it is funny. I enjoy it, so I mean, I'll give him an A tier, and I won't even think so twice about it, I'm not gonna lie. I actually really like his character for what he is. Oh boy, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, S tier. That transformation is beautiful. Them trying to pass the torch on to Gohan, although it didn't work in the end, was good. Gohan's triumphant win over Cell was amazing. His transformation, amazing. Him, you know, Goku believing in his son to take down this monster that's been terrorizing everybody, and him showing up to the Cell Juniors who were even stopping characters like Super Saiyan Vegeta, and he one-shots them. It's so cool. I love it. And his design is amazing as well. Everything about Gohan is 10 out of 10. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, S tier. I believe this is Ultimate Gohan. Ultimate Gohan is an A tier character. Well, I'm trying to skim through this real quick and make sure there's not a Z. Yeah, I guess that's just Ultimate Gohan is an A tier. When he shows up to fight Super Bill, his iconic line, when he says, "Fight you, no, I want to kill you," is super cool. His design is cool as well. You know, him not needing to go Super Saiyan to be as strong. He's like kind of getting his base form. I actually prefer that a Mystic Gohan over Ultimate Gohan, but I think more people refer to him as Ultimate Gohan than Mystic Gohan. But although Gohan did eventually start to get thrashed by Buu after he absorbs Gotenks, does suck, and Gohan kind of went to the side, and Goku and Vegeta fuse, and then they start to stop him. Whatever, but for the brief moment that he was on top and was, you know, the main character for that, I did enjoy it, and also his design is very good. A tier. Future Gohan, B. Alright, Future Gohan's design is really good. Him, you know, having his battle scars and his hair being a bit different, and it's super cool. I really like Future Gohan's design. So like that little Future Saga special movie quote for quote thing, so it was fun. You know, like Trunks becoming Super Saiyan, then he go, and then the movie ends and him leading up and going to the future to tell Goku about the androids is fun. It's good. And he doesn't have too much screen time. I mean, he trains Trunks, he fights androids a few times, he gets his arm blown off and then eventually dies, and then Trunks becomes a Super Saiyan because he dies. But for the brief time that he was there, he is cool. He's a cool character, and his design's really good. Oh, this version of Gohan. Now, there's a difference. Is there high school Gohan on here? I don't believe so. If this is just like Super Gohan, then he is a D tier character. There's no way. They handle Gohan's character so poorly. Now listen, if this was high school Gohan, he would be like an A tier. I don't what he would be like an A tier character if this was high school Gohan, but there was no confirmation to tell that. So if this is just like the beginning of Super Gohan, yeah, he's definitely a D tier character. He just becomes this, bookworm. I mean, which is fine, but he like look at him. I mean, his design, it is kind of like funny. I mean, it obviously isn't as cool as these two, but I mean, it's not a horrible design. But like his character, they just stooped it down to 0, so I'd say D tier. This is Ultimate Gohan in Super. That's a B tier. Gohan in Super was solid, and him being one of the last members of Universe 7 to be in the Tournament of Power, him and like the episode where it's Universe 7 versus Universe 11. That's the final two. Universes alive is cool. Him being one of the finalists is nice. It was kind of poorly handled as to how he got back into his prime so fast. That's why it was a bit scuffed. It took him like a day, which is a bit off. But he was cool in the Tournament of Power. A lot of moments he had in there was good, and his design is still just as good as the original Ultimate Gohan. So I'll give him B tier. Korin, also C tier. I don't remember much about it, but one of Goku's teachers, and his design is pretty fun. Him being like a cat, it is fun, and also he's a pretty cool character. So I don't know much to say about him. Honestly, just a C tier. Super 17, D tier. His design is not that good, I'm not gonna lie. His concept is okay, being two Android 17s fused into one, whatever. But he is a really, he flips his hair back in the fight against Goku an unnecessary amount of times. And it's like, it seems really forced. I don't even know why they do it. I mean, he was the reason, Super Saiyan 4 became a thing, which is a solid transformation, but it's not about that. This is about Super Android 17. And he's not that cool of a character. His design is not great, and his concept is only alright, so I'm giving him a D tier. Ooh, this is a lot of talking. Is this just like base Goku, or is this like Super Goku? Alright, well, yeah, I'm assuming this is Z Goku. Alright, well, if this is Super Goku, C tier. Super Goku, I mean, he's really dumb. Like, a lot of the mistakes he makes in Super, to create tension and it to be comical, I couldn't even imagine, Majin Buu Saga Goku doing that. Like, Z Goku, like, Super Goku is so non-serious. Like, no. Even in Z, Goku is a quote-unquote wacky or silly guy, But he's not stupid. He is not dumb in Z. In Super, he's just plain dumb, and it gets annoying half the time. So I'm giving him a C tier, and also his design. I mean, Goku, his design is obviously good, but his character in Super is really annoying at times. Cell, B tier. Intimidating villain, concept is alright. And also, he was the reason that Super Saiyan 2 Gohan became a thing, so you gotta give him credit for that. Intimidating villain. The design is meh, but I mean, his character and how his character was handled in the Cell arc was really good, so I'm giving him B. Mr. Popo. Now, I'm just not gonna mention him design-wise. I mean, it's obvious it's of a legendary status, but all jokes aside, Mr. Popo, not including TFS Popo. If it was TFS Popo or Dragon Ball Z Abridged Popo, he would be up here. But Popo is a pretty bland character. He doesn't have too much of a role, so I guess let's give him C tier. Oh yeah, these two. Whew. Gogeta. Now this is Fusion Reborn Gogeta. Because Blue Gogeta, I don't know why there's two. I probably just won't rank this one. But Fusion Reborn Gogeta is a B tier character. Now, before I get flamed, he has barely any dialogue in Fusion Reborn. He shows up, essentially one-shots Janemba, and then the movie's over. I don't even know if he does say a word. I don't remember. But he has little to no dialogue. His design is obviously really good, but he has no character. Like, he has no character. Yeah, his design's good, and that's why, like, if his design was meh and he had no character, he would be in C tier. But his design will puts him in B tier, but he has no character, so I can't put him in, like, A or S, you know? Blue Vegito, A tier. You gotta love when Vegito returns in the Goku Black arc. That was hype. That was so hype, so epic. He wasn't there for very long because they had the excuse, you know, because he did the final Kamehameha, drained all his stamina, so he unfused faster. But for the brief moment he's there, and by the way, I do prefer Vegito's design over Gogeta's. I prefer like the shirt thing Vegito has compared to this whatever you call this. I much more prefer the shirt. I do prefer. Overall, I prefer Vegito over Gogeta, although it's not by much. I really like how cocky Vegito is. Well, I can't really say that because they're both extremely cocky in any appearance that they've made, essentially. But I do prefer Vegito a bit more, so mainly design-wise. Is this, Alright, I'm assuming this is a Super Saiyan Gogeta. I don't want to have so many characters in S tier, but he is also like an S tier character. Yeah, I guess I'll put him in S tier. I mean, alright, listen. I need to talk about this. Vegeta is best whenever he is in control of a fight. He is best whenever he is on top of whoever he's fighting. Goku is best whenever he's struggling and he overcomes the challenge. Vegeta is better whenever he is just beating down his opponent and he's, you know, trash talking, being cocky, all that. I love it about him. So, like, even in this picture that they used, whenever he was fighting Broly at first, he was dominating Broly. Like, Broly was barely even doing anything to him. Like, he was smiling mid-fight. When he turns Super Saiyan, he starts to trash Broly for a minute. And then, you know, like, when he fights Android 19, I believe, he's also dominating, and that's an amazing moment. Overall, like, Vegeta, and also his design's obviously good. I mean, it's Vegeta. But in his character, you know, in those few instances, and when he's Super Saiyan, is most of the time very good. S tier character. Alright, so these two back to back. Dragon Ball Super Broly and Dragon Ball Z Broly. Now, Dragon Ball Z Broly is a D tier character. His backstory is dumb. I mean, yeah, his design's cool, but his character, he barely says anything after he goes Legendary Super Saiyan besides Kakarot. Like, he has no character, and his, inspiration is dumb. His design is the only thing keeping him out of the bad low territory, so he's D tier. Now, Super Broly is an A tier character. His backstory is cool. And on top of that, like, his design is just as good as those Z Broly's, and he has, like, a good concept. They, like, Dragon Ball Super Broly was, like, managed so well. I love Dragon Ball Super Broly. It's such a good movie, and they just made Broly's character so much better. Besides just being this invincible wall, he's actually a character. He actually has a backstory, really. Well, technically Z Broly did, but it was dumb. This guy actually has a decent backstory. He's actually a character instead of just being some invincible boss guy. So that gets him A tier. Super Paragus, B tier character. I really like Super Paragus. Now, he was kind of like a piece of crap, kind of, but Paragus, like, you get it why he does those things to Broly, why he would shock him whenever he lost control. I mean, you get it, because when you have a child that, like, you can't rein in, you have to do something about it. Whenever your child is stronger than you, you have to do something about it, right? Like, and also his design is pretty cool. And, like, he was kind of like a mean character, but I mean, that doesn't make him a bad character. And his design's good, so I mean, I'm giving him some B tier. Z Paragus, C tier. You know, him wanting revenge on Vegeta. He wanted revenge on both, but like his design's worse, and he has less of a character. I don't have much to say because I haven't rewatched this recently, but I mean, from what I remember, he's just an average character. Bulma. Oh, well, there's like, I'm assuming this is Dragon Ball Bulma, and this is Super Bulma. Super Bulma is a B tier character. Now, Bulma's design, it's always been a good design. Her character, she is kind of a plot device, but she's at least good at doing it. Like, she is a plot device, but her design is good, and she's a fun character, so, I mean, I gotta give her B tier. Now, Dragon Ball Bulma is A tier. You know why? Because back then she wasn't a pure plot device, and her design is just as good, if not better. She was actually a part of like the main. Well, I guess she still was a part of the main cast, but she was like involved with like the fight. She wasn't in the fights, but she was involved. And she's not just and she wasn't just a pure plot device as much as she was in Super. So I'm giving her A tier. Kid Trunks, C tier. A little annoying. So design is cool, but he's just an average character. He exists for the point of existing, because Goku has Goten and Vegeta has a kid. They fight in the tournament. That's all fun, but just an average character in my opinion. Z Future Trunks. You can't see his face there. B tier character. Him showing up. Becoming a Super Saiyan, shocking everybody, defeating Frieza. It's cool. It's a cool moment. I love it. It's really sick. So yeah, Z Trunks, solid character, very good design. All of the future Trunks except so this one have a good design. B tier. Super Trunks, also B tier. In fact, I'd argue his design is even cooler because like the more beat down clothes he has, it's a lot cooler. His design's better. His character's about the same. So I can't like put him a whole tier above, but like, and by the way, my tiers aren't in order. Like if they're a D tier, they're in D tier. I'm not saying Gohan's better than any of these guys, and vice versa with any other tier. But if I were to say that this guy is better than this guy by a bit because it's designed, and like so their concepts, by the way, are essentially the same. So they're coming to the past. They're coming to the past to get help, essentially. So like their concept is essentially the same. This Trunks, C tier. Same thing as these guys in terms of concept and but his hair, I don't like his hair, so I put him a tier down because his design is pretty bad there. Oolong, C tier character. He's there. He's fun for some jokes anymore, and yeah, so that's really all I have to say about him. Just an average character overall. Fun for what his role is, but that's about it. So sorry about my the dog. So by the way, if you heard that, she's screaming for whatever reason. Tien, C tier. No, B tier. The only reason he's in B tier is because of that moment he had against Second Form Cell when he tri-beams himself essentially so to death to hold him off. Whatever. It's a sick moment, and him, just like, he's like a human. We always underestimate him, and then him coming out and doing that is really cool. In his design, pretty average. I mean, he has a unique design. He's not super cool or anything, but he has a unique design, so I'll give him B tier. Chaozu, C tier. Honestly, doesn't have that much of a character. He did kind of in Dragon Ball, but like in Z and Super, you barely even see him in Super, and in Z, he really doesn't have much of a character. But his design again is unique, and he's not a bad character, so C tier. This is Super Krillin, D tier. They handled him so poorly. They hyped him up so much before the Tournament of Power, and him, being the first one eliminated. Yeah. Like he had like his episode before, but he like I was expecting Krillin to be like the strongest Earthling in the Tournament of Power. Him doing the most. But honestly, the Earthling who did the most was Master Roshi, which most people regard as the weakest member on the team, and he had way more spotlight than Krillin did. His character was just handled poorly, so I'm giving him a D tier. Z Krillin, C tier. Z Krillin was cool in the Saiyan Saga. In the Planet Namek Saga, he was the reason Goku went Super Saiyan. He had a purpose. He fulfilled it. And in the Z Saga, he was cool. Now in the Cell Saga and the Majin Buu Saga, he essentially did kind of become irrelevant. But for the first few bits of Z, he was cool, and his design, it's Krillin. He has average design, so C tier. Final form cooler, B tier. His design is one of the best in the series. I mean, just look at him. He looks cool. He's intimidating. He's a really good quote for quote movie villain. Being Frieza's brother. He's cool, and also his inspiration. For Goku disrespecting his family, and that's why he comes to Earth to kill. Goku is cool, and his design's amazing. I gotta give him a B tier. Goten, also C tier. Oh my gosh, I sped through that. Yeah, this cooler is cool, so to speak. Goten, C tier. Then again, he's essentially the same as Trunks, but I too prefer Goten a bit more because I prefer his design, and also he's just a bit more fun character. Essentially, everything I said for Trunks, he is a bit annoying, but his design's a bit better, and he's a bit more fun, so I'll also put him in C tier. But if I were to rank one over the other, I would prefer Goten because he has more of a character. Frieza. Now, is this Z Frieza, or actually either or? They're both. Wait. Yeah, I guess this is, Frieza. S tier character. Like, in Z or Super. In Super, Resurrection F Frieza, not so much, but Tournament of Power Frieza and Z Frieza are legendary characters. Frieza in the Tournament of Power was sick. Him, being like the shady guy on Universe's 7's team, looking in from other universes is cool, and his role, him and Goku being the guy to take down not the big bad, but like the main wall, because Jiren technically isn't a bad guy. He's not like Frieza in the Pandemic Saga. He's not a villain, but he's the main obstacle in their way, in Universe 7's way of surviving and not being erased by Zeno, and him and Goku being the two to take Jiren out is cool. And in Z, he's like the best. He's my second favorite villain in the series. Like Frieza in the Namek Saga, he was intimidating. He was on top of every single scene that he was in until Goku goes Super Saiyan, essentially. Like, he was just an intimidating, and also his design is really good as well. So, he's definitely S tier. Imperfect Cell, C tier. His introduction's pretty cool, him, absorbing all these people, getting stronger is cool, but his design is pretty bad. But, his concept is good, but his design is not that good. I can only really give him a C tier. His concept is, B tier level, but his design, I gotta put him in C tier. But, his design is D tier, but his concept is here, so I'm gonna just even him out, put him in C. This is Kid Buu, I believe. Kid Buu is a C tier character. Because once he goes Kid Buu, he has no character. He doesn't talk. He's just this evil dude. And his design's pretty good, and he's an intimidating villain. But he has no character. He doesn't say anything. So I can really only give him a C tier. Now, these two, Fat Buu and Super Buu, are B tier characters. Why? Because they have essentially the same design. Well, these two do. Fat Buu, kind of in his name, is a bit different. But he has a character, that's nice. Well, he's kind of nice. Because he's not really a bad guy. And it was and they explain that whenever Mr. Satan, befriends him and he stops being evil. And then Super Buu is, he's intimidating. He actually has a character. He actually says something. And, if you just look at him, when he was on the lookout whenever he kills everybody, it's intimidating, it's cool, his design is just as good as Kid Buu's, if not better, because he's taller, he's more intimidating, and he has a character, so they're both solid characters, B tier. Evil Buu, C tier as well. He doesn't say really anything, and his design is pretty cool, but, he has no character, it's the same thing with him. His design is okay, but he has no character. And he was on screen for a couple of minutes, and then he turns into Super Buu. So, he's just an average character. These two. Omen Ultra Instinct Goku. An epic moment. He is an S tier character. I love when he first goes Ultra Instinct Omen. His design is probably my third favorite in the series, behind two characters that I'll get to later. We're actually gotten pretty far into this, but his design is top tier. I really like the blue shirt, like the ripped shirt aesthetic. Like the aura around him is really nice looking. Omen Goku is an S tier character, and also he doesn't say much, but it's still Goku, and he's super cool. Like that roaring sound he does whenever he went in the end of the first fight with Jiren is cool as well. S tier character. Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku is an A tier character. You know why? Because Ultra Instinct Goku and Omen Goku are essentially the same character, right? They don't say much, and they're both really cool. The only reason this guy's higher is because I prefer Ultra Instinct Omen's design over Master Ultra Instinct's design. So the silver hair, it looks okay, but it's not as good as like the black hair, the aura, and also I prefer Goku when he has the blue shirt over when he's like completely shirtless. I much more prefer this guy's design, so I put him a bit higher. But I still like Ultra Instinct Goku, but just not as much as Omen Goku. Super Bardock, B tier. His design is really cool. Him, piecing together that Frieza's gonna blow up Planet Vegeta is cool. Him putting it all together that, Vegeta's gathering all the Saiyans up and he's gonna exterminate them all at once. It's cool. He wasn't there for too long. But, him wanting to save Goku and send him off to Earth, this essentially canonized Goku's origin, which is cool, and his design's good, and his concept in the movie was good. So he's a B tier character. Now this Bardock is a C tier character. Like he's there, but like the way he figures out that Frieza's gonna kill them all, because he apparently is psychic because this alien gave him the powers or something, was kind of dumb. Instead of him just he thinks and he figures it out. Instead, he has future vision and he sees that Frieza is going to destroy the planet. It's not as good, and his design's essentially the same, but his concept is just worse, so he's a C tier. This Bardock is better than this Bardock. This is the Bardock special, but he's better, but I can't give him a B tier. This Bardock, he goes Super Saiyan in this movie. He's a bit better of a character. He has more character. And his design is the same essentially, but he just has a better character, and also he looks cool. He goes Super Saiyan. He actually wins his fight, so he's definitely a better character, but not enough to put him up here. But he's still definitely better. This Cooler, C tier. He's the same character as that Cooler, but his design's a bit worse essentially. So there isn't much else to say. Cool villain, cool concept, but his design's a bit worse, so I put him in C tier. Metal Cooler, lower than this Cooler, but not D tier. He comes back. The big Getty Star concept was a little annoying to me, but it was cool enough, and his design, it's a bit worse. He's just like metal. It's kind of dumb, but he's not that bad that I gotta put him in D tier. So he's a C tier. The Ginyu Force. Now, I'm going to go over these guys as a whole because they're all very similar. I will put Captain Ginyu above because he has a bit more of a character than these guys, but the rest of the Ginyu Force is a D tier besides Captain Ginyu, and he is a C tier. So why is that? They all are essentially the same character. Now, their designs are fun, but like their characters are pretty bad. Them all having like some colors. I enjoy their designs, but their characters are just bad. Ginyu has a bit more character, and his design is pretty cool as well. So I give him a C tier because like his character isn't horrible. These guys do not have that fun of a character, but their designs are okay. But they're in D tier, and Ginyu is C tier because he has a bit better of a character than these guys do. So that puts Ginyu in C, and the rest of the Force in D. Whew. Launch. Bad Launch, quote for quote, is a C tier character. Her concept is whenever she sneezes and she becomes evil, kind of bad. It's kind of dumb. but her design is good, and she's not a terrible character. So, not what to say about evil Launch. So she is a C tier character. Now, good Launch is essentially the same character, but her design is 10 times better. The blue hair, the nice look, you gotta love her design. It's really good. And she's a fun character in Dragon Ball. Her, like, living with Roshi, blah, blah, it's fun. So I'll give her a B tier. And Bad Launch, a C tier. Deborah, C tier. You know, slave to Bobbity. He shows up. He can turn people to stone. He has a good introduction, but he ends up kind of just being fodder compared to, like, you know, Goku and Vegeta. I mean, he has a solid fight with Gohan, but besides that, he was there for a brief moment of time. He served his purpose, and that was about it. Bobbity, C tier. Actually, no, I actually find him pretty annoying. And you have no character, and your design's bad, so you're actually in bad lull. Because you have no character. You were mentioned, you know, you're his father, but you have no character. You don't say anything. And your design is pretty bad as well. And the only reason you're up here is because you actually have a character, although not a good one. You were pretty annoying. So that puts him in D and you in bad lull. Janemba, C tier. He would be higher because his design is really cool. But then again, like, he says nothing. His concept, you know, him being like all the evil in turn into one being is okay. But in terms of like overall, he doesn't have that much of a character, but his design's cool. I want to put him in B, but he has no character. I can't really do that without making that much sense to me. Bojack, C tier. I have not seen this movie in a long time, but his design is cool, and from what I remember, he was pretty intimidating. He's the reason Gohan turned Super Saiyan 2 in the movies. So that's cool, solid design, C tier. I have no idea what to say about you. I do not remember this character whatsoever. Goku Black. Goku Black is an S tier character. Legendary design. I love like the long sleeves he has. I love the rose transformation. It looks nice. His introduction was probably the best introduction to a villain in the series. Him, you know, killing future Bulma. Everything about Rose Goku Black is amazing. Love his character, love his design, love his concept. S tier character. Probably my second favorite character in the series. Moro, I have not heard anything about him, so I'm just going to put him in C and hope I don't make anybody mad. Nappa, C tier. Now, then again, if this was Deep Sea Abridged Nappa, he would be S tier, but Nappa, he's there, he's kind of fun, he's there, you know, he's like the sidekick to Vegeta. I mean, we all knew Vegeta was stronger, and he was, you know, beating on everyone, so how are they going to beat Vegeta? He's there to serve a purpose, and he does it, and his design's okay, so C tier. Baby, also C tier. Solid design. But I prefer his design B, so before, like, he does all that, whenever he's essentially just Vegeta, but with, like, the white hair and, you know, the lines. I prefer that design, but he's still a solid design, and his character was average. Solid villain, but nothing special. That's a C tier. Omega Shenron. C tier. His concept was a bit weird with the Dragon Balls. It was unique, but his design is not the best. Look at him. Not the best design, but his concept was solid, so I'll just give it another C tier. I'm trying to move through this a bit faster through all these, like, these two, like, Dodoria and Zarbon. Dodoria's D tier and Zarbon's C tier. They're essentially the same character, but the Zarbon has a bit better design, so C and D. I'm trying to move through these characters a bit faster here. I hope y'all don't mind. Fusamasu, B tier. Design is really cool. You know, the black, you know, the ring around him. You know, no, I'm putting him in A tier. The ring around him, everything about him is a cool character. Him, you know, becoming corrupted because half of him is immortal and the other half isn't, I really like it. And, you know, him being a new challenge for Goku and Vegeta, and them having to fuse into Blue Vegeta, you know, so to even, like, make it a fair fight is cool. His design's amazing, so that puts him in A tier. Whis, B tier. Cool character, unique design, He doesn't have to. I mean, well, no, he definitely does have a character, but he his role in the Tournament of Power, him giving insight on Ultra Instinct, Goku was cool. Don't get me wrong, but he doesn't do much. I mean, he's just there to give insight on, Ultra Instinct. Solid character, solid design, but I don't have much to say about him. But he definitely isn't like average. He's definitely a solid character, so I'll put him in B. I believe this is a Universe 11 Angel. She's a C tier. Her design is really good, but she doesn't have that much of a character. She has a few lines in the Tournament of Power. That's about it. But her design is really good. Most of the Angels have really good designs. I'll give her a C tier. But if she had a character, if she had a solid character, she would definitely be up here. Vados, a B tier character. She definitely has more of a character than the Universe 11 Angel does, and her design is really good as well. In fact, her and Whis' character are very similar, but Whis has been here there longer, so he obviously has more of a character, but Vados' design is definitely better than Whis'. Solid character, solid design, it's a B tier. Grand Priest, C tier. So this guy was shot in a way in the Tournament of Power. Like, he was shot as if he was a villain, but apparently he isn't. So there might be a future arc in Dragon Ball where the angels do become evil, which would be interesting, but he doesn't have too much of a character in Super. He definitely has a character, He's this big guy who kind of like takes care of Zeno, the Grand. Not the Grand Priest. He takes care of Zeno. Solid character, solid design. Yeah, so I guess he's a C tier. Super Broly, I've already gone over him. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, I believe. Dude, I am so out of breath. Like, I've gone over all of these characters. This is killing me. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, great design, solid character. He's essentially the same character as any other Gogeta is, but he actually has some dialogue on, like, Fusion Reborn Gogeta, so if I were to put... I can't put him in A tier, but, like, he's definitely above this guy. Just because his design's just as cool and he actually has a character. So, solid design, solid character, concept is cool. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta fuse, it's cool. I love the character. I'm putting him in B tier. Beerus, B tier character, showing up in God. Him being on like a whole another level compared to Super Saiyan 3. Goku is nice, and the Super Saiyan God transformation, cool design, but that's not why we're here. Beerus' design is unique. It's cool, and his character is fun. Him being obsessed with eating, and him keeping the Earth not being destroyed because of Bulma giving him food is fun. So he's definitely a solid character. I'm putting him in B tier. Champa, a worse version of Beerus. You know why? Because he has less of a character and his design is worse. And he's just an annoying character. I mean, they intend him to be, but he's just an annoying character, and he's just a lesser version of Beerus. So I'm putting him in C tier. I'm gonna put you down here so you don't get in the way. Oh boy. Oh boy. The entire reason that this tier exists. Jiren. The main bad guy of well, not bad guy, but the main antagonist of Super in general, essentially. Because, the beginning part of Super was essentially building up to the Tournament of Power. Whatever, that's not important. Jiren, design-wise, not that good. Pretty below-average design. He's not a bad design, but it's not that good. Just look at him. He's a gray dude with some spandex. Pretty below-average design. But his character, oh boy. Do you know what the main obstacle in the Tournament of Power? He barely says anything throughout the entire Tournament of Power, and when he does, he has a cliche backstory. I don't want to say what I was going to say, but he has a cliche, stereotypical, tragic backstory. Like, he barely has a character. And this guy is supposed to be the big obstacle. Like, the reason why Frieza and these guys' village are so good is because their character, they have dialogue there, so they seem intimidating. Jiren is apparently supposed to be intimidating, but he honestly just feels like a brick wall. he really just feels like a brick wall. Like that's all his character is essentially. So he's in bad lull because of that. I made this tier specifically because of this character. I didn't think of you, but yeah, you were also deserving of this tier. But like this tier was made because of Jiren. Bad character. God to, or just I guess just Topo in general. C tier character. His design, especially when he turns into his God of Destruction form, is cool. He's a solid character. That's all I really gotta say. So, like he has a cool design. His character is mad solid. So he's just a C tier character. You also C tier. We got Bugs Bunny over here. I mean, him being able to fight Hit is a bit controversial because, you know, his speed, gimmick, whatever. But he just has an okay design and he's kind of a fun character. But him being able to take on characters like Hit is a bit weird. But if I can put that to the side, he is just an average character. I'll give him a C tier. Kale, C tier. Kale's a solid character. Her being a Broly knockoff is kind of puts her down a bit. But if you want to talk about base form Kale and Super Saiyan Kale, average character, solid design. She has a nice design. But besides that, she's just an average character. Caulifla, B tier. Very good design. Very good character. Her being, you know, like this attitude-y kind of girl. I personally really like it. It's a nice character, nice design. Definitely B tier. Kefla, A tier. Essentially, I mean, as the name goes, I mean, she's Kale and Caulifla fused. And she becomes... Now, her scale, like, her being able to fight Super Saiyan Blue Goku is a bit controversial, but if you just want to talk about her personality, her character, and her design, she's definitely an A-tier character. Her personality is fun, and her design is really good. Her, like, I gotta put her in A tier. I mean, she has a good design, and her character is just fun. So I'm putting her in A tier. You are D tier. You definitely have a character, but you're really annoying, and your design is just bad. You have a character, but your character is annoying, so I can't put you in any more than D tier. Bad character, not the best design, he's definitely a D tier. Ribrienne, also a D tier. One of the most annoying characters for her not going away. Fighting Goku in Tournament of Power for way longer than she should have is just dumb. I don't like it, and her design is pretty bad. I mean, now, her pre-transformation on Brienne she has an amazing design. But she has no character. So even if she were to be here, I can only put her top B tier, but I probably would have put her in C tier. And Ribrienne is a bad character and a bad design. Blue Gogeta. Where did alright, yeah. I definitely like Blue Gogeta more than original Gogeta. Because his design, the blue hair does look a bit better, and he has a bit more of a character in this Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. So he has a bit more character, and his design's a bit better. He's definitely an A tier character, and he's just cool. I mean, most of the fusions in the series are cool. You know, Vegito, Gogeta, Kefla. Not so much Gotenks, but like a lot of the fusions into Dragon Ball are pretty cool. This is also I don't know why you're here. I'm assuming this is Z Goku. Z Goku is an A tier character. Z Goku is cool. You know, him in the Namek Saga, he was good. Well, Saiyan Saga, he was cool. Planet Namek Saga, it was a legendary moment. Cell Saga was a bit worse, but still good. And Majin Buu Saga was still good. He like there was never an arc where he was a bad character, and his design has always been amazing. So he's definitely an A tier character. I mean, it's Goku. Chi-Chi, also B tier. Good design. Her character is a bit annoying, you know, her not letting Gohan fight, and her kind of being the reason why Gohan took the backseat in Super. And also in Z, during, you know, like the Planet Namek Saga. It did hurt his character a little bit, but I do like her design, and her character is fun. Yamcha. B tier. You know, in the later parts of Z and Super, they do kind of turn him into a joke. And in the beginning of Z, he was fun, and his design's pretty good. He's a fun character, so they do kind of play on the meme of, you know, him being weak, you know, him being fodder compared to anything that Goku, even Gohan, like they kind of bring up a lot how he is fodder, but it is at least a fun joke, and his design is solid, so I'm putting him in B tier. Oh, almost done. Whew. Piccolo, also B tier. Him, you know, being like an anti-hero in the Saiyan saga, and him eventually turning into, you know, one of the good guys, quote for quote, is nice, and his design is solid. I mean, he's another Namekian, but, you know, him having the cape does definitely help his so design a bit more, I would say. Solid design, solid character, and also he's cool. He is a cool character. He's definitely a B tier. Zamasu, B tier. He's not as cool as Goku Black, although technically they are the same person. But, like, he's essentially the same character as Goku Black, right? The only difference is that Black's design is millions of times better. But Zamasu's still a solid character, and he has a solid design, but compared to, like, Black, there's no comparison in terms of design. And they're the same character. I can't put him in C tier because he's not average. He's definitely a good character. But, like, I can't put him in A or S where, like, Black is. So, a B tier fits in pretty well. Videl. You all have probably been staring at this the entire time and wondering, why is there a tier specifically titled Videl? Well, there is a lot of controversy around this character. She's a character to where most people would agree you either love her or you hate her. I am one that loves her. Now, there are also people who either really love the high school slice of life mini arc in the beginning of the Buu Saga, and there are people who really hate it. I love it. I love Videl's character. Her being, you know, this pushy girl who ends up liking Gohan and all that. I love their relationship, although the little screen time it got after the high school arc was unfortunate. And her design is legendary. I mean, even after, like, yes, I do probably prefer her long hair design a bit more, but even when she has short hair, I love her design. Now, her design at the end of Z is pretty bad, if you guys know what I'm talking about, but like, Super Videl's design as well is also really good. I love her character for the little time she gets. I love her design. 15 out of 10 character. Love Videl. Now, that is a bit controversial, but it's just how I feel. I mean, I like the character. She's amazing. Everything about her is perfect. I love Videl. Next up, Android 18. A tier. Design is obviously very top tier. And her character, you know, her liking Krillin is really fun. It's really adorable. And, you know, after she becomes kind of like a good guy in the Buu arc and in Super, I really like it, and her design is amazing. Great character, good design, definitely an A tier character. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, a B tier character. Very cool design, and, you know, because Goku for a majority of GT was, you know, like a little kid, his voice was annoying, and then, you know, when he turns Super Saiyan 4, he grows up again. It's nice, it's a breath of fresh air, you gotta love him. Very good design and a good character. They definitely a B tier character. Oh, what? Super Saiyan 4, what's this then? It's hard to make it out, but I've already gone over it, so let me just replace. I have no idea what that is then. I don't know what that is. I'm not even gonna lie. Alright, well, whatever. I'm assuming that's also Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but that's obviously him. I thought that was him, but I guess I can't tell. Saiyan Saga Vegeta. B tier. Intimidating villain, great design. I love the scouter. It's a nice touch. And, you know, him and, you know, everyone forming together to take down Vegeta at the end of the Saiyan Saga was cool. His fight with Goku in the Saiyan Saga, a great fight. One of the better ones in the series. Intimidating villain, solid character, good design. B tier, definitely. Super, well, I guess it's just Master Roshi overall. He's definitely a very good character. Now, this picture is from Super, but if this was just Super Master Roshi, I'd probably put him in A tier, but overall Master Roshi probably just he's still B tier. The original master of Goku, the originator of the Kamehameha technique. His role in Super is really cool. Him being, you know, everyone was like, you know, slandering Soroshi. You know, he wasn't going to do anything in Tournament of Power. He shows up and he puts in work for his character. You know, he eliminates a ton of guys. He's a cool character, cool design. Everything about Masaroshi is great. Definitely a B tier character. Pan, C tier. Her role in GT, she is a bit of an annoying character. I'm not gonna lie, in GT, but her design is cool. Sorry, her design is cool. Solid, meh character, but her design is solid, so I'm gonna put her in C tier. I don't have much to say about Pan. Second form Cell, D tier. His character just gets worse, and his design is bad. His design is just as bad as Imperfect Cell, but him as a character is also worse than Imperfect Cell, so he's a D tier character, definitely. Also, I don't have so much to say about Imperfect Cell. Belmod, C tier character. Now he kind of is there just to give insight on Jiren for majority of the Tournament of Power. You know, he's the one who reveals his backstory. His terrible backstory, by the way. I mean, Belmod, clown design, it's an alright design. It's different. It's not bad. And solid character. Well, not solid. He's an okay character. Solid design. I'm just going to put him in C tier. He's not a bad character. He's not a good character. He's definitely C tier. And I've already... Yep, I believe this is it. Dang, this has been a really long video. So, yeah, this has been my tier list. I'll quickly scroll down real quick. We got Videl as my favorite character. All these characters are really good. These characters are really good. Solid. Okay. Pretty bad. Very bad. I mean, if you want me to, like, you know, go over them real quick. Yeah, I guess I'm done here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was really hard for me to make, all this talking. I am out of breath like no other right now. If you did enjoy, please consider liking, subscribing, leaving a comment, whatever you feel like doing to support me. Thank you all for watching, and have a good day. So bye, guys.